Alright everyone, today I have myself the Dark Power Pro 11 by Be Quiet. This is the 650 watt flavor, so let's go ahead and take a look at her. So take a look at the box here. You got the outside, 80 plus platinum by the way, so plenty of efficiency to go around. 650 watts, as I said in the beginning. They have these in 550, I believe, 650, all the way up to 1200 if your rig really needs all that juice. Opening up the box, you get a nice foam packaging, by the way, that surrounds the unit itself, manual, user manual. And then you have a little kind of shoe box, really, that you can go ahead and repurpose as something else if you want, with all your cables, everything you need, including a few little extras that you may not have known that come associated with this higher end of SKUs from Be Quiet when it comes to their power supplies. Now you get plenty of PCIe, that's what I'm going to tell you right now. This is only 650 watts, but you get 4 connectors of 6 plus 2, that's 8-pin PCIe, plus an extra 6-pin, so 650 watts, but it looks to me I can easily be powering 2 mid-level cards in SLI or Crossfire if I really wanted to push this thing. It looks like it's probably going to handle it. Now, a few things to keep in mind I want to address immediately. This is a several rail, 12-volt rail power supply. It has 4. Alrighty, so here we have the unit up and close. Look at that sexy little badge. For those that may have thought that at some point this was just a sticker, it's like a sticker, but it's got more of a badge kind of plaque feel to it. The letters are lazed. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say. The letters are raised. 80 plus platinum. I want to put some emphasis on that, so great efficiency. Got the Be Quiet logo, Dark Power Pro, 650 watt. And thankfully, you know, it's a higher end SKU. I would expect it to, but if you do flip it around, if you have it facing like this, fan up, you know, regardless of the orientation, let me just put it that way, you're going to have your logo facing the right way. Look at that. It's like magic. Actually, no, it's just common sense. So looking around the power supply, you're going to see a nice little theme here of rubberized edges, and this is already just built in. You don't even have to screw it in yourself, like an extra, you know, vibration dampener or whatnot. But this is all around the unit, so even on the front a little bit, so whatever mounts it may be laying on, if they're just metal, it's just not going to vibrate. It's not going to transfer any vibration to your case, and this obviously is going to be the rear of your case. Look at this, nice and thick. So going back to the top of the unit here, you have your Silent Wings 3 silence optimized fan here. These are great, even their case fans, the Silent Wings case fans in general, just for airflow. Or, I mean, they're slightly static pressure optimized, but not incredibly so. So it's a nice in-between, but I love these fans, and they're so subdued, you know. I love the simple fan design and just a really simple, you know, subdued, you know, neutral kind of color. I mean, it's got orange in it, clearly, the Be Quiet logo, but that shouldn't clash too much with your theme. I mean, it's not in your face, but it's very subdued. It's not like a white label or a blue label or something like that, so it definitely kind of blends in a whole lot better that way with their fans. So we got ourselves a close-up here. As you can see, the 4-rail design, as I said, each with 20 amps, actually 2 with 20 amps, the last 2 with 25 amps, for a total of 54 amps, and that's when you actually use your OC key, as I mentioned earlier. Combine all these 4 and you get 50 big fat 54 amp rail for a combined total of 648 watts of the total 650. So you're basically getting the full amount. Very nice. The rest of your rails there, this turned into a remix, and I'm going to leave that in. So now we're checking out the connectivity. That's pretty much the most important part. You got to connect your stuff, don't you? So you have your 24 pin, 20 plus 4, 24 pin right here already attached, because you need this anyway. So to have this modular is kind of stupid. Might have more to, you know, construction cost and whatnot, so just leave it in. And it's got a nice little sleeve right here, if you will, so no dust is going to get into the I almost said orifice. You know, let's just call it an orifice. Let's call it that. But anyway, so no dust is going to get in there. You know, considering that these, I'm going to say this about most of the cables, especially the 24 pin. Being that this is a, you know, a much more expensive, higher end SKU from Be Quiet. I'm not doubting their, you know, efficiency, their optimization for silence, but I think they could have stretched a little bit more to provide better sleeving. Because look at this. If I want to, this power supply is sexy. It's awesome. It's not over the top. It doesn't have a bajillion colors. It doesn't have jagged lines or anything. It's nice and clean. It's well thought out. It's pretty. It's sexy. But then you have ketchup and mustard, rainbow stuff going on. And you can see it pretty well still through the sleeving. Did I say shielding earlier? I have no idea. So the sleeving, including most of the other cables, some not as much, but this one clearly more because there's just more action, if you will, going on in here. So it's just really letting the colors stand out more. But I think they could have stretched a little bit more. So if you want a clean aesthetic, you don't have to worry about re-sleeving or getting much pricier, more higher end SKU of a power supply from any brand, and then just still be left with ketchup and mustard, which you would expect on a $30, $40 maybe, SKU from another brand. But hey, that's just me. You do some really good cable management and you can probably hide this. So anyway, back to connectivity. You have all your connectivity here for your drives, your SATA, Molex included. And here are all your PCIe connectivity right here, all your 6+2 and that extra 6-pin that I mentioned. You have two CPU power connectors. You have one for the typical, 8-pin CPU. But then you also have a supplemental if your board actually supports it. So you can add some extra power, like the Formula Z for the AMD 990FX platform. That takes supplemental CPU power for basically more overclocking headroom. So that'd be nice. Now here is going to be your OC key. You want to plug that into the basically bottom left if you face your power supply down. And that's going to be, you can face that on the rear bracket of your case and have it be ready and willing to switch to a multi-rail or rather a single-rail mode, which, depending on your situation. Now, above this, you do have some fan connectors as well, so this is convenient, but for me, it's all going to depend on cable management. If you want to actually route all your fan cables, at least the ones that reach, but they do have extenders, by the way. They do extend from this, because this is only 2-pin, out to 3-pin DC. So you can be routing all your case fans to here to be powered directly from your power supply. But again, that's going to be subjective because that all depends if you have, crisscrossing cables along your motherboard. If you can't make it look too pretty, then probably just stick to the fan headers on your motherboard and control them via your BIOS if it allows. Alright guys, well, I'm going to go handheld because, why the hell not? So I'm going to explain a few things and show you that I do in fact have it. The Dark Rock, well, here I go again thinking about the cooler, which that is the Dark Rock Pro 3 by the way, very sexy. But the Dark Power Pro 11, 650 watt. Now, it is installed. What you're hearing, by the way, is this really just gimpy setup of fans that I have going on. I mean, look at this, come on, look. I'm just messing around. What you're hearing is mostly that. This has no vibration dampening whatsoever. A little bit of that, but basically not. And a really old graphics card with blower style cooler. So you're going to hear mainly these other fans. This isn't about noise, however. I will tell you that the Dark Power Pro is extremely quiet. I mean, I can barely tell it's even on. There's like literally no vibration. Nothing is going on. It's basically doing nothing, but it is powering through a benchmark right now. I'm just checking stability with my FX8 core. I did have an overclocking profile already set in the system, and what I had here before was in fact this Cooler Master i600, which has served me very well. I'm not going to get rid of it just yet. Now a few things I'm going to get out of the way before I forget. The included Velcro-like straps for a lot of the cabling that came in the big shoebox. I use that as a means to cover up a lot of the mustard. See, still have a little bit poking out there, but this is Velcro. This one I didn't have an extra one for. Maybe I can figure it out later, use some tape. The 24-pin is the most notorious one. I have a little bit of Velcro here, but it's like, you still see the rainbow. So I would definitely say, for such a higher end, for your highest SKU of power supplies, come on, you guys could fix that. I think you could fork up, maybe not. I'll pay a couple extra bucks to have my sleeving look really nice. I mean, you can sleeve it yourself, but, anyway, that's just my opinion. But nonetheless, what I want to point out is, I'm going to go here, I didn't actually show it earlier, the overclocking key. Now, so far, the power supply is working admirably, working fine, nothing's really happened. Oh, you can barely see that. So the overclocking key basically goes in a rear slot, one of your expansion slots back there. The switch, it's black, that's great. You can't see it really much back there anyway. But look, you get a patriotic wire, red, white, and blue, coming to what basically would be this right here, this OC key port. for it to get power, or not even power, but also so it actually actuates the function of going from multi-rail to single rail or vice versa. So I didn't use it because I realized that in the bag, I hadn't noticed earlier, it comes with a little shunt. So all you do is put the little shunt, and it's always going to be single rail. Because if you already had an overclocking profile like I already did, then for me to go in, boot into Windows and start doing things on multi-rail, it may be unstable, which I'm going to tell you what happened really quick. I set it all up, cable managed it as best I could, made it look as best I could. That's how it currently is. And I had the shunt in. It did not boot at all with the shunt in. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on here? It seemed like the CPU fan, like everything was just kind of stuck in a loop. And I'm like, oh no. So I took out the shunt, and it booted just fine with what's presumably the multi-rail function. Now, everything worked, but then I went into AIDA64, and I started doing my stress test, and within about 30 seconds, froze. So I'm like, okay, this is multi-rail, that's expected. It's not really meant for overclocked, components. It's just drawing way too much current from the slightly smaller non-combined rails. So there you go. I restarted, and I put the shunt back in, the little jumper. For whatever reason, this time it booted with the jumper in. I don't know why it didn't the first time, and it's running fine. I'm going on 22 minutes of AIDA64, and it hasn't... I get these dips on the FX8 core all the time. I'm not exactly sure why. It could just be the program or a sensor. I don't know. But either way, it seems stable, and it was perfectly stable with my i600 from Cooler Master in the past for about 3 hours straight. So I shouldn't have any issues. This should be fine. I'm not sure why it didn't want to boot at first, but now it's fine. And like I said, any noise you're hearing, just the rest of the PC. Ignore that. This thing is dead silent, just like it's supposed to be, especially with that name, Be Quiet. I would certainly hope so. And just, yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's working. If there's ever some other update that I need to bring up, I'll surely let you guys know. But hey, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Give a like to this video. Dislike if you disliked it. Totally sounding like Linus now. Great. Awesome. What the hell was I going to say? Subscribe, like, share. Yeah, let me know if you leave some feedback below about what you guys think of this. If you're going to get it, maybe you already have it. You happen to be watching this video anyway. Or if you have other Be Quiet products, let me know what your experience has been thus far. Be Quiet would like to know, and I'll probably be checking the comments there. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The rest of the rails there, this turned into a remix, and I'm going to leave that in.